Once again, my fellow Star Trek fans, I'd like to welcome you to another video and another model-related video. And I hope you enjoy watching these videos as much as I enjoy making them for you. So today, we're going to go, obviously it's a Star Trek video, but we're going to go to Star Trek Strange New Worlds. And we're going to focus on this lovely lady right here. Not this particular one. This is the original Enterprise, NCC 1701 from the original series. And one of the things I like about her is that she's graceful, majestic. Her design is very unique and iconic. So, in Star Trek Discovery, we're introduced to the USS Enterprise with Captain Pike instead of Captain Kirk. Now, Captain Pike was before Captain Kirk. Of course, in the original series, Captain Pike commands the Enterprise, and what happens is he ends up going to Talos 4, and that's the only, at the time, that was the only remaining death penalty that Starfleet had left. There was to be no contact with Talos 4 at all. He ends up getting hurt, and he ends up going back to Talos 4 because they give him the illusion of health. And Mr. Spock was devoted to Captain Pike before Captain Kirk, and he helps Captain Pike get back to Talos 4, and he steals the Enterprise, and he's got an elaborate plan. Anyway, this video is about the ship herself. Now, we're introduced to the Enterprise in Discovery, like I said, and of course, they make her look spectacular. If memory serves, the nacelle pylons were lit. They had 3 lights running down the sides of the saucer pylon. They had lights on the outside. Underneath, there were 4 strips of light around the sensor dome, and on top, they had the bridge area had kind of like a, not Aztecing, but it had like a design. And of course, there was Aztecing all over the ship. The differences with Strange New Worlds to Discovery, I did notice that there are lights on the nacelles on the top and on the bottom on both sides, white. And if memory serves, they don't blink. But they're just lights that are on the tops and on the bottoms, in the middle of the front and on the back. The nacelle pylons are not lit in Star Trek Strange New Worlds, neither is the saucer pylon. Again, it's got the radar dish, the deflector dish, and that's not lit at all. Overall, the ship is not as lit in Star Trek Strange New Worlds as she is in Discovery. But with my subject today is we got the model kit from Star Trek Discovery, and this is the USS Enterprise NCC 1701. Now, I did show you the 1/1000 scale, and I also showed you the lighting kit that comes with. And what we're going to do with that is, I've been looking for like a conversion kit, because that was expensive. The lighting kit was expensive, and the model kit was expensive. So I don't want to hack that. But with this one was relatively inexpensive. I think total with shipping, it was like $29. And this is in, I believe, 1/2500 scale. Yes, 1/2500 scale. So this one's a lot smaller. But if we hack this one up and end up making it butchered, it won't be as bad of a loss. We can always get another one. Because this one is a lot cheaper than the 1/1000 scale, and I do not want to mess up that one. That one was too expensive. And these are a little more readily available to purchase. So you can see the way they look. They made her look on the cover. You've got the Bassard collectors, and we've got the blue inside, the chiller grills, and you can see where there's a lighted deck where the registry is, and we've got the bridge area that's lit. And Again, the box, the way it's depicted on here is a little bit different than on screen, because on screen there's a lot more lights on her. This is still a beautiful depiction of the Enterprise, and this is by Polar Lights. Plastic kit model, snap fit. We're going to glue it anyway, but with the introduction of the better LEDs that are really small, we'll be able to light the nacelles and the nacelle pylons. Excuse me, not the pylons, but the Bussard collectors and the chiller grills pretty easily. And we shouldn't really have that much of a problem. When it comes to the kit, looking at the side of the box, round 2 models, and you can see finished version of the kit. And let's see if I can read this without the just going through the screen. Wherever our mission takes us, we'll try to have a little fun along the way. Make a true noise. Ruffle a few feathers. Captain Christopher Pike. And you can see the beautiful picture of the model, and this is on the side of the box. Let's check out the end. And this is POL971M/12. And again, you can see a beautiful picture of the ship. USS Enterprise, 1/2500 scale, snapped together model kit from Star Trek Discovery. And you can see that what's cool about this one is this one comes with the Aztecing decals as well, which is nice because the 1/1000 scale does not come with the Aztecing. And I think I've shown you the Aztecing aftermarket set, I believe. You can see it includes the base with the ball joint to pivot it around, and you can see the decal sheets, and that's on the other side of the box, and I believe the ends are the same. So let's check out the back. You can see Star Trek full color paint and decal guide. That's probably on the inside of the box. And 29 parts, molded in color. So you see it's really not a difficult kit to put together, and this one is only going to be 7.5 inches long. Again, it's going to be pretty small. But if we butcher it up really bad, and it turns out to be a fail, then it won't be as bad, because I don't want to massacre the 1/1000 scale, because that's more money. This is the USS Enterprise, NCC 1701, Constitution class starship. Let's see, was that 2019 release? StarTrek.com, again, item POL971M-12. Love it. You can see the shots of the finished model. So, that being said, why don't we take a look at the model kit itself? And we'll go over to the desk where there's more room, and we'll take a look. Okay, so there's better light here, and you can see, looks good. I love the ship. Well, it's the Enterprise. I love the Enterprise, but maybe someone out there can comment and explain something to me. Now, this is Captain Pike's ship. Captain Pike was before Captain Kirk took the USS Enterprise. Can you guys explain to me why Captain Kirk, when he took the ship, it would have been superior to the one Captain Pike had? When you look at this thing, it's cavernous. From the sick bay, to the transporter room, to the bridge, the weaponry, the sophistication. How is this inferior to Captain Kirk's Starship Enterprise, which is that? Now, I understand with all the effects that they want to make her more impressive. I get that. But this Captain Pike's Enterprise in Star Trek Strange New Worlds, it actually looks superior to the Enterprise D Captain Picard's Enterprise. The thing's just huge and just massive and powerful. And anyway, that'll be another video. But with that being said, why don't we have some fun and open up the box and check out what's in it. I don't know about you guys, but one of the most satisfying, fantastic things is to open up and break the seal on a brand new Star Trek model kit. I just love that. And I want to share it with you guys. So let's enjoy that with me. Haha, love doing that. Love it. All right, let's take a look. How about we put that? Actually, we'll move this one. And we can put this there like that. Okay, and you can see the painting guide. Actually, we'll start with the painting guide. As they usually do with round 2, they've got it on the box. You can see we're going to need gunmetal. We got gold, clear blue, clear red, and white. Incidentally, those paints I want to show you guys. We've got those all ready to go because we're doing the Enterprise C. And we got the testers, and this is the candy apple red, but this is the transparent red. And we've got the transparent blue for the deflector dish. Anyway, I wanted to show you guys that. And we'll use that for these parts. Hopefully they're in clear plastic. You can see the backs of the nacelles are also lit. And you can see the lights that they have at the front and the back of the nacelles. And you can see the underneath, the sensor dome, and we got one ring. And let's take a look at the sides. It also shows the where the decals are going to go. And on this side, the decal setting solution may be required to settle decals over complex surfaces, contours, and details. Check with your hobby retailer. We've got the 2 rings on top with the outer kind of ring. Now you guys remember on the original Enterprise, they had the black line on the outside. I think it was the pilot. First pilot or second pilot, one of them had the kind of like the lines around where the outer beacons are. And this one has the nacelle pylons lit. I don't think that the Enterprise has any lighting like that in Strange New Worlds. But you can see more of the decal placement. And forward and aft, finally, we've got the impulse engines that are red, the backs of the nacelles, and we got the shuttle bay. And again, in Strange New Worlds, there are no lights back there. And we got the front. So that's everything on the side with the paint and decal guide. Why don't we go ahead, we'll check out the instructions first. And I'll put the instructions up for you guys. Assembly instructions for POL971M-12 USS Enterprise 1/2500 scale snap together kit from Star Trek Discovery. And it's got some information. General assembly. The highly detailed kit features precision tool parts for ease of assembly. Care and patience must be exercised to achieve optimal results. The kit has been designed to assemble via snap assembly. If the modeler chooses to glue their model, that's what we're going to do. Carefully do it before applying cement. You will find this very helpful, as it will allow you, again, to understand how the parts will fit together. And the sub-assembly is the decal and the paint, and then it does it in a different language. So let's move on, and we'll move on to part 1. And we start off with the nacelles. Squeeze nacelle sides while pressing in the Bussard collector. You can see where these are going to be lit as well, and I'm hoping that they're clear. I think they're clear, but I'm not sure. I've never seen this model kit before. Moving on to part 2. Looks like this would be the starboard side nacelle. We do the same thing. You can see we got the parts that go inside for the chiller grill, and we got the ends, and then we've got the Bussard collectors. Moving on to step 3, you can see we're going to be putting the coolers on, and we're going to attach the nacelle pylon, and that would be for starboard, and step 4 is for port. And then moving on to step 5, you can see we're going to start to put the primary hull together. And this section is going to be lit. So if there's no gap there, we're going to have to figure out how to drill that out. And you can see, again, I hope this is clear, that goes up inside. And we've got the sensor dome that's going to go in on the bottom, and it looks like we have the impulse engines. And moving on to step 6, we have the secondary hull. And you can see what we're going to put on the radar dish, or the deflector dish. We've got either side of the hull. And it looks like we have the shuttle bay. Now I wonder if that's going to be in clear as well. We'll see. And it looks like we move on to step 7, which is the final assembly. We're putting on the nacelles, we're putting on the secondary hull to the primary hull. And at this point, you can see pretty much finished. We got step 8. It goes on to the little ball and socket that goes on to the dome. Now remember, this ship the model is going to be very small. And finally, we should have went to step 7 first. So step 7 is some modelers may choose to sand off the raised details indicated here to allow for decals 35, 38, and 39 to apply to flat surfaces. So that would be along here on the bottom of the secondary hull. And you can see the decals that they're talking about. And then step 8, where we put it onto the stand, the final assembly. And on the bottom you can see round 2. This is from 2019. So this is still going to be fun to do. Anything with the Enterprise, I think, is just amazing. Looks like this is the decal sheets. And again, it's nice because looks like we have all of the Aztecing that's going to go on, which is a great thing. All right, let's have a little look-see. And we've got the protective sleeve, or the protective sheet. Let's put that over there. And nice. Again, this should show you how small the model's going to be. I know on camera it looks gigantic, but we're going to have the Aztecing. And you can see this is going to go below the shuttle bay. And we got the registry markings for the primary hull on top. You can see it looks like we got the sides of the secondary hull. bottom. So this is going to be really fun. Okay. We got another. So there's two, it looks like there's 2 sheets. Total of 2 decal sheets. And you can see it's got that beautiful marking for the side of the secondary hull. And we've got the 2 sections, I think, that are going to go on the back of the primary hull with the windows. And of course, we got the registry markings for the nacelles. And we got the bottom. Oh, this is actually the top because there's 2 of the rings. And we got the nacelle pylon Aztecing. And finally, not quite sure what these are. But those are the decals. So in total, there's 2 sheets of the decals. And this is pretty good. Like I said, it's a smaller model and they got everything pretty much covered. So let's open up our first tree. And I'm very happy to see that it's all in clear plastic so we can light it. Nice. All right, so you can see this looks like a Bassard collector. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not a Bassard collector. Here are the Bassard collectors. Nice. Those are going to be red. And these are going to be red. Looks like these are the impulse engines. And what they did was the backs of the nacelles are actually all in clear. I don't know if we're going to be able to pick up the design for in there. But anyway, that's going to be painted the same color as the rest of the ship, with the exception of the back. That'll be illuminated. We have the sensor dome right there. And these look like the chiller grills that are going to go on the insides of the nacelles. And love it. Check it out, guys. We've got the bridge area, and this is all in clear. So we'll be able to put this up through, and it will actually, we'll be able to light up everything with a bulb. So that's nice. That's pretty cool. So that's the first tree, and that's the transparent. Let's see, it looks like we have 2 bags. So let's go ahead and open up this. First tree. This is all about the base. So you can see the way it's shaped. What's on the back? 2019 round 2. See, the problem with this is how we're going to light the ship. We might have to put the power pack separate, but we'll see. We'll see as we go along. Maybe we can actually put it in the ship, kind of like we had to do with the jet plane, the Tornado 200. But we'll see. Anyway, this is the base, and you can see the ship's going to mount on here where you'll be able to take it off. Okay, now look at this. Now we've got to get to the primary hull, and again, I love the fact that we have all these openings, so it's going to be really fun to light this up. You can see the sides, so the bridge will be lit, and B and C decks, and we've got that big opening in the front below the bridge area where the dome is, and we've got the lighting over here. Now we're going to have to make it where the light is actually going to show on here. But that's going to be the fun with doing this. And you can see where the housing for the deflector dish is going to be. And we got the deflector dish itself, as well as it looks like the shuttle bay doors. You can see the bottom of the ship. Beautiful, where the sensor dome is going to be. Love it. And we can prime the inside to make it nice and reflective like we do with all the other models that we light. And this looks like the final tree. And looks like we've got the secondary hull. You can see this is the starboard side and the port side. Again, the nacelle pylons are not lit, and the saucer pylon is not lit in Star Trek Discovery. They are in Strange New Worlds. They are lit in Discovery. They've got the three underneath this section where the saucer pylons are, and they have the nacelle pylons that are lit on the outside and in the inside. And it's just a lot more spectacular looking in Star Trek Discovery. Where Star Trek Strange New Worlds, it's not as illuminated. But there are differences between the ship that we'll go into. You can see the cooler, the radiant coolers that are going to be on the nacelles. And speaking of the nacelles, these are going to be lit. The chiller grills that go inside. And we have the outer parts. And again, they are lights in the front and in the back. Top and bottom that are white. And then we've got the nacelle pylons themselves. And if you guys notice, this is molded in one piece. Now the wires for the small LEDs aren't that big, but man, there's nothing here to run the wires through. So we're going to have to actually run it through and put it in the gap. So we'll see how we'll do with that. Maybe we're going to have to channel it and then putty it up after, kind of like what we did for the Enterprise D with the nacelle pylons. But anyway, this is going to be a fun little build. It shouldn't take that long because there's not that many parts in the kit. It says 29 on the box. And this is going to be pretty cool. And this is going to be a fun build as we introduce ourselves to Captain Pike's USS Enterprise, pre-Captain Kirk and post-Captain April. You can see the section where the impulse engines are going to go, and again, those are going to be lit. Those are red. And the Enterprise, one of the big differences between this Enterprise and Captain Kirk's is there are no beacons. You guys remember they have the blinking beacons on either side of the primary hull, top and on the bottom. If I remember, let's see, we've got green for starboard and blue and red for port. And as the ship goes by, you can see the lights on top, the beacons, and at the bottom. Of course, earlier in the series, the filming model on the bottom had them a little bit more aft. But this Enterprise does not have any blinking lights at all to speak of. So that's something we won't have to worry about doing. But again, we look forward to making this model and bringing it to represent the Enterprise on Strange New Worlds. And it'll be fun. We're going to do the side-by-side comparison as we go along in the build. And I'll show you guys the differences in the ships, as well as the improvements that seem to be impossible when it comes to this ship as opposed to the Enterprise that Captain Kirk gets. Again, there are times that this thing would seem superior to the Enterprise D. But like I said, we'll get into that in more detail as we go along in this build. But this was part one of the build, the introduction and the unboxing, and I wanted to show you guys this pretty fun model kit. And again, we're going to make this altered into the Strange New Worlds Enterprise that Captain Pike has, pre-Captain Kirk. So my friends, until the next video in this series, Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.